Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. So Manchester United have made a lot of mistakes, and that's one of the main explanations why we've been so inconsistent for a while. Now I think one of the mistakes Manchester United made was giving Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the job permanently. Now obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is in a difficult position at this present time. But the main explanation why we give Solskjaer the job permanently was reflecting on what he did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager, because I think he won like his first 8 games. I think another one of the mistakes Manchester United made was recommending Ed Woodward in and Matt Judge. The Glazers are the biggest culprits for that. Now, Woodward has obviously been at the football club since 2012, so he's been at Manchester United now around 8 years or so. Matt Judge has been at the football club around 7 years. He's accountable for some of the failure of transfers, and the Glazers have been at the football club for around 15 years or so. But from my own perception, Solskjaer was not backed enough from the board throughout the course of the summer transfer window. We've been critical of the board anyway for several years, reflecting on how poor our recruitment policy's been. We've also overpaid for players. And I think, the managers that we've had since Ferguson retired have not been backed enough. And Solskjaer revealed throughout the course of the summer transfer window a few times that he was very infuriated with the board. I think we also made a mistake by not signing any of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's priority targets in the summer transfer window. We missed out on a lot of targets throughout the course of the summer transfer window. We obviously missed out on Jadon Sancho. We missed out on Jack Grealish, we missed out on Nathan Ake, we missed out on Kalidou Koulibaly, we missed out on Sergio Reguilon, we missed out on Gareth Bale, we missed out on Thiago Alcantara, we missed out on Jude Bellingham. Don't forget, back in January, we missed out on Erling Haaland. I think another one of the mistakes Manchester United made, and that was getting rid of Romelu Lukaku and Ander Herrera. I think they are 2 players that Manchester United should have kept. Some Manchester United fans believe that we made a mistake by getting rid of Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho endured 2.5 years at the football club. Did win the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season. Also got a second in his first season. And he recommended around 11 players into Manchester United. But the main explanation why it didn't work out under Mourinho is because we had bad disputes with the board. He had bad disputes with the board. Bad disputes with the top players. And the board weren't backing the signings that I wanted to recommend into the club. Like I said the other week, I think Solskjaer is in a similar position to what Jose Mourinho was in. I think there's some players we've given contracts to who we shouldn't have given contracts to. That's another mistake Manchester United made. I think also Alex Ferguson made a mistake by recommending David Moyes when he retired back in 2013. David Moyes only lasted around 8 or 9 months at Manchester United. We finished 7th under the David Moyes era. That's the lowest we've finished in the Premier League era. But the main explanation Ferguson recommended Moyes at that time is because there was both Scottish. So I think, these are the mistakes that Manchester United have made. Look how much money we've spent in the last 7 years. We spent close to the £1 billion range on players. Under the Moyes era, we brought Marion Fellaini and Juan Mata in. Obviously, under Louis van Gaal era, we brought likes of Schneiderlin in, Sebastian Schweinsteiger, Di Maria, Falcao, Memphis Depay, Victor Valdez, Ander Herrera, Sergio Romero, Rojo, Damian, Martial Shaw, Daley Blind. The vast majority of the players that were brought in under Louis van Gaal era have now left. Manchester United. And like I said, Mourinho recommended 11 players into the football club. A lot of the players we have brought in the last 7 years, though, haven't been the right calibre players for Manchester United. So yeah, I think these are the mistakes that Manchester United have made. Now, obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's been at Manchester United now for almost 2 years. And I have taken positives from his tenure. I think he has made some good signings so far. Solskjaer's brought around 10 senior players into Manchester United. Obviously, in the summer of 2019, he brought Daniel James, Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In the January transfer window, he bought Bruno Fernandes and Odi Nagala in on loan. And in the summer transfer window of this year, he obviously brought Donny van de Beek in, Edison Cavani, Alex Telles, Facundo Pellistri and Amad Traore. We got 4 of those players on deadline day. Solskjaer has spent over £200 million since he became Manchester United manager. I also like the way that Solskjaer's promoted the youth, because the young players have been given their opportunities. And he's also brought a few academy players into Manchester United. When Solskjaer got appointed in as Manchester United manager in December 2018, he said he was going to give everybody their chances to express themselves, including the young players. Solskjaer's also got rid of a lot of players since he got recommended in as Manchester United manager. We've also had some good periods under him. Like I said, we did well in that 3-month period when he first came in. Went on a 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions towards the end of last season. And we also went on a 14-game unbeaten run in the Premier League. Last season, our record against the top 6 sides was very, very good. Solskjaer had beaten Pep Guardiola 3 times last season. He'd beaten Frank Lampard 3 times last season. He's already overcome Jose Mourinho once. So that's another positive you can take. But like I've said to you, Solskjaer has got to improve his decision making at Manchester United, because in a lot of his games at the football club, he's been very tactically naive. Solskjaer's managed over 90 games now as Manchester United manager, and he's won over 50 games as Manchester United manager. This is his second full season at the football club. And I was saying before we kicked off the season that what would represent a good season for Manchester United, and that would be to finish in the top 4, maybe in the top 2 or top 3, and win a trophy. I definitely want us to win a trophy, because we haven't won a trophy for over 3 years, and we've not yet won out in terms of silverware under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. But we've endured a very, very poor start to this season. And this is why Solskjaer is back under serious pressure. We've already lost 2 of our opening 3 league games. And both these defeats have come at Old Trafford. And it's the first time we've lost our 2 opening home league games in 34 years. We lost the opening game against Crystal Palace by 3-1. And we recently lost to Tottenham by 6-1. That was our heaviest defeat under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era, and it was our worst defeat since the Alex Ferguson era. Solskjaer made an admission after that 6-1 defeat to Tottenham, and he said it was his worst day in his managerial career. We was lucky to beat Brighton in the league. We're beating them by 3-2, but in reality, it should have ended 2-2, shouldn't it? I think the best game so far for Man United was the 3-0 win against Brighton in the Carabao Cup. I don't think Solskjaer will get sacked as Manchester United manager at this present time, but I think he probably will be sacked before Christmas, unless we see improvements. Now, how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can avoid getting the sack is by exceeding his expectations, his decision making improving, and also certain players have got to improve. This is the only way he can save his job. Solskjaer's just got under 2 years left on his current contract at Manchester United. It had only cost us around £4 million to sack him. That's totally contrast to the 18 million that we paid to get rid of Jose Mourinho. If we do sack Solskjaer, he will be the 4th permanent manager to be sacked since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Now, in recent days, there's obviously been talks of Mauricio Pochettino becoming Manchester United's next manager. We have been in negotiations with Mauricio Pochettino's representatives. Now, Pochettino was linked with a managerial role at Manchester United before Solskjaer came in December 2018 to replace Mourinho. Mauricio Pochettino has been managerless now for almost a year. He was sacked from Tottenham last year, and Tottenham did make a mistake by getting rid of him. Now, at one point, Pochettino was linked with a managerial role at Newcastle. Pochettino did endure 5.5 years with Tottenham. Analysing the vast majority of his tenure, Tottenham were competing in and out of the top 4. And he did guide Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final last year. Before he was at Tottenham, he was at Southampton. He only enjoyed a short tenure at Southampton. He guided Southampton to their highest ever finish in the Premier League. And before he was at Southampton, he was at Espanyol. But my own perception is I think Pochettino's a better manager than Solskjaer because he's well Premier League proven. He's dealt with top players. My only element of concern about him, he has not won anything in terms of silverware. And I've said to you several times, I want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial tenure at Man United to work out because at the end of the day, I love him a lot. He's a club legend. He was a great player for the football club for 11 years. He flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance. But I just think as a manager, he's not good enough to succeed because he hasn't got a proven pedigree, has he? Manchester United is the 3rd club in his managerial career. I also credit Solskjaer from last season because, to be fair, last season he exceeded most of his expectations. He obviously got us qualification for the Champions League. We also finished 3rd and we progressed to 3 semi-finals. And last season was his first full season at the club. And don't forget, at the first part of last season, we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season. At that point, Solskjaer was very close to getting sacked and we're in a sort of similar situation now. Now, obviously, our next game is Newcastle in the league after the international break. And it's very imperative that Manchester United do get back to winning ways. Now, I do presume in that game that Alex Telles will be making his debut for the club. Not sure about Edinson Cavani because it recently said that Edinson Cavani's debut for the club has been delayed due to COVID-19 restrictions. I'm hopefully can make his debut, Edinson Cavani. Obviously, Anthony Martial's not available because he's suspended. He got sent off against Tottenham. I think he's got a 3-match suspension. If Cavani wants to be available, then we could possibly put Juan Mata in attack. But we've got a difficult period coming up. We've got Newcastle, PSG just after them in the Champions League. We've named a 25-man squad for the Champions League, by the way. We've just left Jones, Rojo and Sergio Romero out. Then after PSG, it's Chelsea. And then obviously we've got Leipzig coming up soon. And Arsenal's also coming up. You know what I mean? But like I said to you, Solskjaer is inheriting a lot of players here from the Jose Mourinho era. Still a couple of players here from the Louis van Gaal era. Still 1 player here from the Moyes era. And I think there's around 2 players here from the Sir Alex Ferguson era. We haven't marked any title challenge up in the last 7 years or so. We've not won the Premier League since 2013. So last time we won it was in Sir Alex Ferguson's last season. We are the most successful team in Premier League history because we have won 20 titles and 13 of them are Premier Leagues. But I think at this moment in time, from my own perception, we are at least 3 to 4 years off from winning the Premier League title. Because as it stands at the moment, you know, City and Liverpool are strides ahead of us. Now, definitely, some players are to blame for the inconsistency. You know, like I said, De Gea, he's not good enough anymore for Manchester United, you know. This season is David De Gea's 10th season at the football club. And I think he's probably had around 7 good years as David De Gea. Like I've said before, you know, De Gea has made over 400 appearances for Man United in all competitions. 300 odd of those appearances have come in the Premier League. He's won everything domestically at the football club, and he has won individual awards reflecting on his good run of performances over the years. We paid just over £18 million for De Gea from Atletico Madrid back in 2011. You know, when De Gea does leave Manchester United, I think he will go back to Spain. He's probably going to remain our number one this season. He shouldn't remain our number one. Like I've said before, I think Solskjaer should put Dean Henderson as number one, because I think Dean Henderson is now reliable enough to become our number one goalkeeper. And Dean Henderson has got that experience behind him. Dean Henderson's last 2 games he's played and he's kept 2 clean sheets. David De Gea's last 3 games, he's let 11 goals in. A few weeks ago, Dean Henderson signed a 6-year contract with Man United worth 120 grand a week. And Wan-Bissaka, he's also had a very poor start to this season. And Wan-Bissaka's lacking that attacking intent. And we need to see a lot more attacking intent from him. I still think we'll keep him at Manchester United. And Wan-Bissaka's defensive contribution's always been very good, mainly. You know, this season is his 2nd season at Manchester United. We got Wan-Bissaka in a deal worth 45 million, or was it 50 million, sorry, from Crystal Palace last summer. I think Victor Lindelof, he's not good enough to represent Manchester United. He's had far too many bad games. Lindelof obviously was at fault for 3 of Crystal Palace's goals in the opening day defeat. Victor Lindelof's out of his depth. You know, Victor Lindelof's endured 3 years or so at Manchester United. We got him back in 2017 from Benfica for around £30 million. I think Eric Bailly is a much better centre-half than Victor Lindelof. But my element of concern about Eric Bailly is that he is injury-prone. Eric Bailly's endured 4 years or so now at Manchester United. We got him from Villarreal back in 2016 for £30 million. Bailly's just recently sustained another injury whilst he was on international duty with the Ivory Coast. So now, reflects on that, he's a doubt for the game against Newcastle. So another selection headache for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think Alex Tuanzebe, he's been back in training recently because he's been out with injury. Harry Maguire, he's also had a poor start to the season. Who are Manchester United going to give the captaincy to? Because I think, you know, we need to take the captaincy of Harry Maguire. I don't think Harry Maguire is good enough to captain the team. We give Harry Maguire the captaincy, reflecting on Ashley Young's departure back in January. This is Harry Maguire's 2nd season at Manchester United. We got him in a deal worth 80 million from Leicester last summer. So as it stands at the moment, Harry Maguire is our 2nd most expensive signing and is the most expensive centre-half in the world. I think we should either give the captaincy to Bruno Fernandes or Donny van de Beek. They're the ones that show fantastic leadership in the team. Luke Shaw, he's enjoyed a pretty poor start to the season. Not so long ago, recovered from an ankle injury. My element of concern about Luke Shaw is that he is injury prone. He's not gonna remain our first choice left back any longer because obviously Alex Telles has come in now. You know, Luke Shaw's endured 6 years or so at the football club. Got him from Southampton back in 2014 for £30 million. Paul Pogba, he's endured a very, very poor start to the season. And like I said on my recent videos, I think Paul Pogba is likely to leave Manchester United now. because Paul Pogba recently made an admission saying that his dream is to play for Real Madrid one day, so he wants to join Real Madrid, does Paul Pogba. And around this time last year, was it? He said that he wanted to play under Zinedine Zidane's guidance, and he was talking about Madrid, and he also said that he wants to leave Manchester United because he's seeking for a new challenge. There's obviously been narratives of Paul Pogba going to Juventus, his former club. Paul Pogba did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus before he rejoined Manchester United. And that, by the way, there's no talks ongoing regarding a new contract for Pogba. Pogba's just got under a year left on his current contract at the football club, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. As it stands at the moment, Pogba's our most expensive signing because we paid £89 million for him. This is his 5th season, by the way, at Man United since he rejoined. For the vast majority of last season, he was out with an ankle injury. Fred, McTominay and Matic, they haven't had the best of starts to this season, have they? I think Fred could possibly leave the football club next year. A few weeks ago, there was rumours of Fred possibly leaving, weren't there? But Fred had come out and said that he wants to stay at Manchester United. And he wants to be an essential player and win trophies for the club. Fred's been at the club a few years now. Got him in Jose Mourinho's final transfer window. We paid $52 million for him from Shakhtar Donetsk. Matic, I thought he had some good games towards the end of last season. Matic is aging up now, isn't he? Weren't so long ago he signed a 3-year deal with the club. Matic has enjoyed 3 years or so now at Man United. Got him in a deal worth £40 million from Chelsea back in 2017. And McTominay, he had some good games last season. Don't forget last season, though, he was out with that ankle injury. McTominay, not so long ago, did sign a 5-year deal with Man United, so he did commit his future with the football club. So he has these players that have been very, very inconsistent. There really, really is. And we're obviously, still looking to offload a few more players because there's still some deadwood at the club. Lingard, he's one of the deadwood. We've obviously got to offload him. The last time I read about Jesse Lingard, it obviously says that Porto want him on a season loan. That was stemming from Rob Dawson from ESPN. Said a few weeks ago that Tottenham were interested in Lingard. Marcus Rojo, he's another player we're looking to offload. Rojo's enjoyed a good 5 years or so at Manchester United, but he's never really established himself as a first-team regular. Paid around $16 million for him from Sporting Lisbon back in 2014. Last season, Rojo was out on loan with Estudiantes. Phil Jones, he's another player we're looking to offload. Phil Jones has enjoyed around, 9-10 years at Manchester United. We got him under the Sir Alex Ferguson era. We paid just over £16 million for him from Blackburn, Phil Jones. Romero's obviously open to leaving the club because he is now our 3rd choice goalkeeper because Dean Henson returned not so long ago. But I think we've got some good players in our team, like I've mentioned before. I think Rashford, he's a very, very good player. Rashford's been part of the club for several years. He's now 22 and he's been with us since 7. So he's been with us around 15 years. Rashford's been in our senior squad since 2016 and since then has become an integral part of our team. Just wait there a minute. Just turn this light on. It's getting a bit dark. Rashford not so long ago recovered from an ankle injury. He also had a back injury for us last season when he was out for a few months. We know now that Rashford plays on that left-hand side. I think he's just been recently given the MBE award. With his service with vulnerable children. Fair play to Marcus Rashford for that. I think Mason Greenwood, he's also another good player for Manchester United. Don't forget, Mason Greenwood was recently withdrawn from the England squad for the game against Wales. We had a few issues with Mason Greenwood though before the start of our season. Mason Greenwood's currently our number 11. He's the fourth Manchester United player to wear the number 11, but he's very effective on that right-hand side, is Mason Greenwood. Anthony Martial is a good player. He hasn't had the best of starts to this season, but I will definitely keep Martial for now at least. Martial was exceptional last season under Solskjaer. He was also very, very good in his debut season under the Louis van Gaal era. We got Martial at the age of 19, don't forget. Didn't we pay around £36 million in from Monaco, potentially rising up to £57 million based on goals and achievements. He does currently play in that number 9, but to be honest, we know Martial's very, very effective in that central position, even though for the vast majority of his Man United career, he's been playing out wide. I've also got to say, Bruno Fernandes is very, very good. Probably one of the best players we have got at the moment. Probably one of the best signings we've made since Alex Ferguson's retirement. Last season, Bruno Fernandes won some Matt Busby Player of the Season. I think he must have won Premier League Player of the Month around 3 times, reflecting on his good run of performances, Bruno Fernandes. I think he's scored around, 15 or 16 goals for Man United in all competitions since his arrival. A lot of his goals have come from the penalty spot. Like I updated you on my last video, Solskjaer and Bruno Fernandes have had a bust-up because Bruno Fernandes was upset with Solskjaer for taking him off at half-time in our 6-1 defeat to Tottenham. You know what I mean? I think Donny van de Beek's also a very, very good player. Donny van de Beek has enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. These question marks around Solskjaer. Why has he not yet started Donny van de Beek? He's not yet made his full Premier League debut for the club. We got Donny van de Beek in a deal worth £40 million, and he signed a 5-year contract with Man United with an option of a further year. Currently wears that number 34 shirt. Brandon Williams, I think, he's really impressed me and he's a good player. Brandon Williams now currently wears the number 33 at Manchester United. I think he's the first player to wear the number 33 since Paddy McNair. I think we made the right decision by giving him that 4-year contract, Williams. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Williams now, though, that Alex Telles has come in. Williams could actually be put as our backup right back, couldn't they? Because Brandon Williams is predominantly right-footed. You know what I mean? Juan Mata, he's really, really impressed me. I know he doesn't get in the team a lot now, Juan Mata, but when he does make an impact. Juan Mata, don't forget, got man of the match for both games in the Carabao Cup against Luton and Brighton. Juan Mata has 50 goals for Manchester United. He's made around 257 appearances for the club in all competitions. Matt has enjoyed a good 6 years or so now at Manchester United. We paid just under £40 million in from Chelsea back in 2014. Like I updated you on my recent video, he's been offered a lucrative contract worth around $15 million a year to go and play in Saudi Arabia, but the club is unnamed. So I think Ian McGarry, who's a transfer expert at Duncan Castle, said it's fine with Juan Mata and his father if his contract is to be terminated, because Juan Mata's current contract does expire next summer. You know what I mean? Odion Ighalo obviously doesn't get starts now in the Premier League, does he? But he does get his opportunities in the cup games. Last season, he was our top goal scorer in the FA Cup. Ighalo will stay with us until his loan expires, I should presume. Just after lockdown, we extended Odion Ighalo's loan, didn't we? Daniel James. Solskjaer did say towards the end of the summer transfer window that he was preparing to sell Daniel James for around £25 million, but our board had disagreements over this transfer plan, didn't it? So there you go. But like I've said to you before, no one will replicate Ferguson's legacy. The success came under Sir Alex Ferguson because since he's left being inconsistent, before him was very inconsistent under Ron Atkinson, Frank O'Farrell and Wilf McGuinness. We haven't been relegated since 1974, which is 40 odd years ago now. You know. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care, God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.